And welcome back to the Boot Room. Today we're going to look at Watford's 1-0 defeat by Southampton. The game started with Watford changing shape from the 4-3-3 used in the 5-1 win away to Everton to something closer to that which Ranieri prefers, a 4-4-1-1 operating as close to 4-4-2 as makes little difference. Tufan was dropped to the bench and João Pedro was brought in after his impactful substitute performance last week. Emmanuel Dennis was unavailable due to suspension. Southampton lined up in a 4-4-2 formation, but with a system that would prove far more fluid and prepared than Watford's. For a change, we will start with the only goal of the game from Che Adams. It came on the 20th minute, and Southampton had already shown their intent to outwork and outthink the home side. The ball was played into Armstrong, who played a loose pass in front of the Watford centre-back pairing of Troost-Ekong and Cathcart. Both were slower than Adams to move to the ball, allowing Adams to reach the ball first and pivot before deftly chipping the ball into the top right of the goal beyond the outstretched Foster. These views show how precise Adams had to be to play through the gap between the centre-backs and beyond the extended keeper. It was the one true moment of outstanding quality in front of goal and should be acknowledged as such as we move on to look now at how Watford and Southampton played the game. Last week, Sissoko demonstrated a willingness to act as a conduit from the back and to play the ball forward. This week, when he did this, the Southampton forwards pressed the ball, supported by the midfield. Here, Sissoko drops in very deep, but with only two, including himself, playing in midfield, he has no or little passing option and opts to try to play the ball out via a 1-2 with Troost-Ekong. A ball from Troost-Ekong when not played under pressure is hardly a hallmark of quality, so it's no surprise that the pass from Sissoko is placed under pressure high up the field and we surrender the ball. Note how high the Southampton team are pressing. Now look at us in comparison. Failed to put any real pressure on the ball and already far deeper position than Southampton. A Southampton midfielder, in this case Ward-Prowse, has dropped into the back line, and we will have a look at how he takes up that position a little later. But for the moment, note how little we are threatening the player on the ball. Sarr tries to press, but it is an impossible task on your own. This allows the Saints to manoeuvre the ball freely and work an attack down their left wing. Southampton press us on the ball, and once again we see how high and how aggressively they're pressing, and collectively. The ball is played into Kuchka, who is immediately under pressure. The ball breaks to Cathcart, who plays the ball to Messina, who plays a long ball to relieve the pressure. But for the Saints, a long ball down the middle is easy to defend, and in this case they use an offside trap to catch out Sarr. Watford's main attacking strategy in the first half appeared to be Ben Foster's long kicking, and a number of times this proved quite effective, most notably for our best chance of the first half, as Joshua King was played down the left, crossing for Sarr, whose attempt was cleared off the line by Walker-Peters. Now let's see how Southampton set up to play out from the back under little pressure. Ward-Prowse has the time to get into position. He has even more time to check his passing options before the ball comes to him. Once he receives the ball, he simply takes a touch and uses his superb passing range to good effect, in this case releasing Livramento, their excellent young right-back, to attack the Watford backline. Hernandez has played his entire career as a forward and appeared to have little or no understanding of his defensive duties on the left of a 4-4-2 and was replaced at half-time. Yes, another identical situation, and again under little pressure, Radanak plays the ball toward Prowse. However, he shapes his body to turn back towards Radanak. This should be the signal to press as a team, but instead Watford sit passively, and as we have said a lot this season, passive is not a strategy. Instead, the ball is simply worked again toward Prowse, who again passes forward, again under little pressure. Southampton worked a number of good chances and will be disappointed not to have gone into half-time further ahead. On a defensive note, when the ball was wide, the Saints congested around the ball and showed opposition players towards a Southampton teammate, effectively funneling the Hornets to where Southampton were the strongest. This continued in the second half, where the Saints would funnel to a congested area in front of the penalty area, forcing Watford to shoot from range or move the ball wide. At half-time, Watford changed shape to the 4-3-3, with Sema and Cleverley replacing Pedro and Hernandez. Whilst this improved the overall performance in the second half, Southampton still moved the ball better with pre-planned moves that allowed them to exert a degree of control on the game and retain possession. When Romeo received the ball, Nathan Redmond, the Saints' left midfielder, would run infield and create space for the overlapping fullback Walker-Price. This would happen repeatedly and allowed the Saints to combat the Hornets' extra numbers in central midfield. On the occasions when that passing option wasn't available, Romeo's passing range would often allow him to split the central defenders from Watford. Despite extra bodies in midfield in the second half, our best attacking outlet tended to start with Ngakia, who had a good game, feeding Sarr. Sarr's deliveries into the box are not his strength. However, if we are going to profit from wide areas, we really do have to get more of those extra bodies into the box when it goes wide, as these images demonstrate. In the latter stages, Ranieri acknowledged this and brought on Fletcher for Ngakia. The move nearly paid off, and with the former Middlesbrough player on the park, we filled the box. Fletcher's spin and shot, however, was smartly saved by McCarthy. Summary. Many people have commented that we need reinforcements at the heart of the defence, and they are correct. However, if you have a weakness in the team, then mitigate it by defending the ball further away from your goal and make it harder for the opposition to feed their attacking players in dangerous positions, i.e. press the ball further upfield, as we did to great effect against Everton. When the ball is wide, get players forward into the box to have any chance of adding to the goals scored column. Southampton were good value for their 3 points and looked well drilled, and had they been able to hit the target, the scoreline would have been even harsher. We appear to have changed formation and system from the Everton game to no obvious benefit.